Hi, I'm Candy Hemphill Christmas, and I'm founder of the Bridge Ministry. I've been under a bridge feeding homeless people for about 7 years, and it started with a desire to do something tangible for the poor, and actually it started from depression. Several years ago I suffered from depression and lost my appetite. I lost down to about 100 pounds. I went to see my doctor, and he said, obviously you are severely depressed and I'd like to medicate you and hospitalize you. And I was raised in a pastor's home, and I decided that I would go a different route. Now, I know a lot of people take antidepressants, and that's okay. I understand you have to do what you have to do to get through. But I decided that I felt that the Lord was leading me on to a higher faith and to just trust Him. So every day I was in my prayer closet asking God to heal me and of depression, and I couldn't really find the root. So one day I was praying in my prayer closet. I said, God, what is it? What is the root of this situation? And He said, your will is fighting my will. See, my will wanted to travel and sing gospel music and more awards or more #1 songs, or because I've been in mobile ministry all of my life, I'd never really seen the fruit of my ministry, of my efforts, because when you have someone who's touched or saved in your ministry and you sing gospel music and you travel, you're on to the next city. You don't really see the fruit of your labors. So I got to the place where I felt that my life had been spent in vain. I'd worked very hard, started traveling when I was 13 years old, and had never really seen a lot of the work of God that we sung. So this particular day in my prayer closet, after months of being severely depressed, I said, God, this is not working. Tell me the root. And the Lord said, your will is fighting my will. And so when I began to submit to the will of God and not seek for more achievements or more awards, but I got my focus off of myself, and I said, Lord, if you want me to live in a tent in China and just hand out tracts on a street corner, Jesus Christ will be enough. Without all the trappings of Christianity or Christian music or awards, Christ is enough. And when I came to that realization and finally settled down and said, okay, God, what do you want? Then the Lord led me on to a bridge here in Nashville. Not long after that, an older gentleman who's also a lay minister, I met him. He was laying tile in a home of a friend who was building a house here in Nashville, and I went to visit. I was very shaky and wobbly, just coming out of this bout with depression. And so he said, you look like you could really use a pick-me-up. I feed homeless people. Would you be interested in going? And I said, yes, I would. And he said, can you cook? I think because I was so thin and so frail looking, he thought I couldn't cook. And I said, yes, I can. And he said, well, what can you cook? And I said, I make jambalaya. So he said, cook your jambalaya and meet me under the bridge. That was 7 years ago. I'm still under the bridge. I rarely ever have missed a Tuesday night in all these years. We've gone on to more branches of the ministry besides just feeding the homeless. But feeding the homeless is one of the most rewarding and fulfilling things that the Lord has ever entrusted me with in my life. We feed 350 to 500 homeless people, depending on what time of the month it is. Early in the month, we feed fewer people. At the end of the month, there's more. We feed the working poor. We provide groceries. We literally set up chairs under a bridge and host a church service, sometimes concerts, but then we always give a time to share the gospel of Jesus Christ and offer a place for people to come and receive Jesus Christ. Then after the church service, we give away toiletry items, clothing items, groceries, and provide for their needs throughout the week. So it's been a wonderful thing. But the little boy got confused one time about quoting the scripture, and he said, "Oh, the Lord works in mischievous ways, His wonders to behold." Well, in this specific example in my life, he kind of did, because later I realized, I read a doctor's report that says that there are endorphins that are released inside of your body when you do acts of kindness, when you help people who can't help you back. And it's kind of like the Christmas spirit. You get all excited at Christmas because you're giving to the poor, or maybe taking a food basket to a needy family, or you're giving gifts, and there's an endorphin that is released inside of your body that just makes you happy. And so in reaching out to others, then I found a joy like no other joy that I have known in ministry in my entire life. And so this, outside of God and family, this is the greatest gift that the Lord has ever given to me. I think I could safely say that the homeless people have done a lot more for me than I've ever done for them.